Oh, that's a new message. God, it feels weird to be in here. My hair is all weird today, too. What you doing? Got the zoomies. Got the zoomies, buddy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, someone's angry. Someone's angry. Angry. Hi, Kay Kelly. Hi. Oh, freaking hair everywhere. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It feels like last year. It feels the same to me. But I'm making a whole bunch of, well, not really. I don't really make resolutions, but goals that I won't follow through on. I don't really make resolutions, so I make very broad goals. So that way when I fail, it doesn't hurt as bad. Because I have ADHD, so let's be real, I'm going to fail anyway. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to find all of my notes. I took like 1 billion notes, but I put them in all different spots, different places. They're like all over the place. I'm trying to find all my notes. I'm waiting for Shannon to get here anyway, so we'll wait. Oh, I gotta find. Had something else I forgot to pull off my shelf. Where is it? What the heck? Here's this. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, we're gathering all the books. Oh, I like. Hey, Shannon. You weren't that tardy. What? It's only 7:02. Usually I'm late. I was sitting here starting a project, so I was already sitting. God, I'm trying to get all my notes together. As always, I am unorganized. Shocker. My neighbors are blaring music as usual. Being jerks. What else is new? I know I was grabbing a cup of coffee too as well. Okay. Well, now I have too many things. I'm overstimulated. Okay. Pirate project over there. Trackers over there. This here. Okay. Okay. I got a ton of notes. I got a ton of like little tidbits. I'm excited. I got lots. Ugh. Anyway, how was your new year, Shannon? How about you, Kay Kelly, as well? I didn't even ask. I just said Happy New Year. But do you have any goals for the year? I don't. I was telling Kay Kelly I make like the most loosey-goosey goals. I do want the only like kind of like stricter goal is I do want to get my pirate novel completely drafted by the end of the year. And my one friend who has ADHD as well. I have ADHD very badly. I don't know how we didn't know that, but she gave me the sticker idea. And now I'm obsessed. And then I added on to it. So what I do is I just started. See, that's what I was working. That's a project I was doing. So I have a calendar, and then I have a sticker for every day. And then I have like, okay, so I made my own stickers. I just went to Google Images and because I have sticker paper and I made my own, but I have a little key. So if I write, I get this sticker. If I plan, I get this sticker. If I edit, I get this sticker. Research, read, anything that pertains to it, and which is kind of research anyway. And then if I spend the day scrolling through Pinterest, I was going to do a parrot, but I don't like parrots as much as I like crows. So I rebelled naturally. But yeah, that's my little planner thing there. little key. So I'm trying to do at least an hour a day of like one of those things. I mean, I'm always scrolling through Pinterest anyway, so why not? Because I have like a whole Pinterest folder for my pirate novel. But yeah, so far I've written for the past like 2 days. I'm doing good so far, but we'll see how it lasts. But and then at the end of the month, if I do good by the end of the month, I'm giving myself a big sticker. Either I'm going to order one or I might just make my own since I have sticker paper, because I have all these I always print out photos from Pinterest. I just take little snippets and steal people's stuff. I'm so sorry to these people. I'm not like selling it. I just want it for me. But like some of my characters, but they're like that's Char. But I was thinking that like at the end, if I do good at the end of the month, then I'm gonna make myself a big one of these, like of one of my characters or something like, in the book, like one of those pictures, and then stick it on my notebook for the project, whatever I'm working on. So, but now I'm obsessed. So anyway, that's what I've been working on. Anyway. Pretty good New Year. Watch Godzilla vs. Kong. I haven't seen that yet. I don't think. If I did, it wasn't memorable, but I know I still have to do. I recorded my goals video for YouTube because I'm trying to do better with making videos. I recorded it today. I don't know if it's going to actually go up, but it's not like a real goals video. It's just like nonsense, because I make like Grinchathon-y goals, for myself. Like they're like, meh. Like if I get them done, I don't. There's like very low stakes, low pressure for me. I don't set very rigid goals. That the novel one is like the most rigid goal that I've set. I know, I love stickers. I know. I got 2 days. I don't know if it's going to last. I think the stickers will help because I'm again, ADHD and like the dopamine. I'm giving myself at least like 2 days a week of rest time, at least 2 days a week. So that leaves me what, how many days are there? I can't do math. Whatever. Anyway. First impressions of the TV show. Shanna, you've watched it before, right? Did you watch it before this? Kay Kelly, it's your first time watching it. What did you think? I have so many like little tidbits. I'm like trying to like figure out how to structure. I should have thought ahead of time, but I'm me. Why would I do that? There's so many good stuff. Anyway. Yeah, a lot of options. Yeah, that's what I think. And I think like I'm structuring my TBRs. I'm gonna try to do TBRs again, but they're very much me kind of TBRs. Like who's that? Who's that? I was trying to get under the blanket, but there's already like 3 cats in there. Obi, there you already have 2 in there, and you're not going under the blanket. It's not the end of the blanket's there. Actually, I think 3 cats are in there. 1, 2, 3. I see 3 lumps, and now there's trying to be a 4th one. Anyway, it's a rewatch for you. Oh, cool! I watched a couple on my plane ride home from Miami. I downloaded some episodes because you can download if you have the Netflix app on your phone. My voice just like choked. If you have the Netflix app on like your phone, you can download episodes of certain things, or you can download movies if you have space on your phone, space. But I downloaded, what did I download? I downloaded 4. I think I downloaded all of season 2. But I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes. I think I watched 2 episodes. because I had layovers. So I think I watched 2 or 3 episodes. On the plane ride from home from Miami. Because I went to Miami for the holidays because it was last minute and I realized I had some last minute vacation time to use up. And Josh was like, well, let's go away. And he found tickets to Miami and that's where we went. And of course, it was the coldest it has been in Miami since in like 30 years. It was the coldest Christmas in like over 30 years. And of course, that's when I went. But anyway, it was fun. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, that's how I watched. I watched some of it on the plane and then the rest at home. Oh, the first episode. I think the first episode for me when I first watched it too, I was like, well, I was burned. I'm biased because I was burned with the movie because I hate the movie. I absolutely despise the film. And I learned a little bit more in this book that I'll share with you, why I hated the movie so much. But anyway, I was burned with the movie, so I had very, very low expectations going into the show the first time I watched it, and I think I was trying really hard to go in with an open mind, but I'm like, and I thought initially that I was going to hate it, but no, I did actually. The first episode is a little disorienting, I think, because you're getting into the vibe of the show and how it's set up, because it is set up differently than the books a little bit. So that might be why it like took a bit, because it is a little disorienting, but once you're in, yeah, an odd tone. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's a vibe. It's a vibe, but yeah, it was still warmer. But you get used to the warmth down there, that their cold, which would be our warm, is like freezing. Like I'm shivering and it's like 50 degrees down there, or it was like 40. It hit like 40 degrees one day. 30, which is freezing down there. So yeah, so I'm shivering even though it's really not that bad. It was like 2 degrees up here. So, but yeah. Oh, and Klaus is I know. I always and like he gets hit in the books, but like I don't know. I think it's seeing it on camera that's like very like anyway, I read this. So I read both of these. For this one I can't. I'm so annoyed because HarperCollins is being twats. HarperCollins are being twats. There, that's what I was trying to say. And not giving their workers a fair wage. And like, so HarperCollins is on strike right now. A lot of it, their union is on strike. And I'm trying not to post anything HarperCollins book related, like on like Instagram or anything. Not that I post that often on Instagram anyway, but I'm trying not to post any, and I'm withholding all my reviews and stuff until they get a fair trial. But because that's what they said to do. They didn't say to boycott the books. Like I just going off what their union says, but the union says like withhold your reviews and just put in, I'm holding until they negotiate a fair contract. So this one I didn't really get to talk about on Instagram at all. Because this is actually published in HarperCollins. And it really doesn't have that much more in it anyway. These are the Beatrice letters, by the way. They're literally just letters between, there's 2 different sets. There's the younger Beatrice, the kid, at the end of the end. Kit's daughter. So there's that Beatrice, and then there's also their parent, the mom, Beatrice, as well, like letters. Both of them are written to Lemony Snicket, back and forth. So it was interesting, but like I couldn't really talk about it too much, and it wasn't that big. But I listened and read this. This is, which I bought. I don't know if you remember, Shannon. I bought it when the show came out the last time, and I haven't read it. I hadn't read it since, but I read this for Grinchathon, and I devoured it in like a day. It was so good. But this is like the coolest coffee table book ever. I love this. I loved it. I gave it like 5 stars. But it's got like, yeah, it's just a huge coffee table book. But this book had so much cool stuff in it, and I learned so much. I took notes. I have tabs. Like, I was so happy to read it. I remember it was really, but this one I can talk about because it's through Hatchet, not through HarperCollins. Which I was like so happy about. I'm like, yes, this one's through Hatchet. But yeah, oh my god, this one such a cool read, and I'm glad that I read it before we talked about the show. But because I learned, so when the movie came out, I learned so many things. But when the movie came out, like the old movie, when they were trying to like do it, both the showrunner, so the showrunner for the TV show now, for this TV show, for the Netflix show, and Daniel Handler, which is Lemony Snicket, the real author of the series of unfortunate events, because Lemony Snicket's a fake name, but both of them were on, the showrunner and him were both on to do the movie. They were both on it, and they were both fired before the movie was started. Like before they started filming, before they started doing things for the movie, both of them were fired. Can you imagine firing the author of the books that you're adapting? And it like hit me how much I'm like, oh, so that's why I hated the movie, because two of like the main people that are involved in this project, the author was fired from the movie. And that's why it's like not a good adaptation. Like, because I like when I heard that, you should, oh my god, I wrote it down in my notes. I was so excited, like exclamation points. I'm like, I cannot wait to tell Shannon and Kay Kelly about this, because oh my god, like what? Oh, I love, yeah. Oh, the Hook-Handed Man and Sunny. Oh my goodness. I love the hench people because they get so much more well-rounded in this, but yeah. But oh my goodness. It's such a cool book. It's even like you can't really tell, but it's even like got like a texture like fake leather. It's a beautiful book. Beautiful book. Huge, but beautiful. Yeah, the author was fired. Lemony Snicket, Daniel Handler was fired anyway from the movie. And the showrunner, why is the lights like doing weird things? Anyway, yeah, they were both fired. There's also an audiobook for this, by the way. I listened to the audiobook, but I do recommend if you can find a copy from the library of the physical book, because it's got so many cool pictures and stuff. But Neil Patrick Harris narrates the audiobook, even though there's like interviews with like all kinds of people in here. So he still narrates everything. But yeah, yeah, I could not believe that. But I forget what the showrunner's name is. What the hell is the name of the showrunner? Oh, damn it. I have like the set producer here, but Barry Sonnenfeld, I think, is the showrunner. But yeah. So the person, what's this book? It is the Incomplete History of Secret Organizations and Utterly Unreliable Account of Netflix, A Series of Unfortunate Events. Probably if you probably Google like A Series of Unfortunate Events Netflix, it might come up. But it's probably backwards on there, but yeah. I can't remember how much it cost. I'm going to look on Amazon, even though I hate Amazon. That's not where I get my books anymore, but I do understand how it's a cheaper option for people. And I can actually, I think I can Can I scan? I think I can scan too. That will make my life so much easier. Wow. Take a photo. No, you're not going to find it? No, not my shirt. Don't look for my shirt. Look for the book. Oh, it's like, oh, it's on sale. When I bought it, it was way more expensive. It's $26.85 on which I guess isn't bad for like a hardcover, but on Amazon. It's originally like $35, which I think I paid full price for it when it came out, because I think I pre-ordered it or something because I was like so excited. But yeah. Oh no, it's fine. It's worth holding up. It's worth holding up. It's so good. But you should. Once you watch that movie again, I guarantee you're gonna like find everything wrong with it. Because it's just so much. Ugh. 45. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, very expensive. Yeah, 45 Canadian. Yeah, it's an expensive book. But it says it's also available as an ebook and an audiobook. Like I said, I listened to the audiobook, but I also learned another reason why I like this the series so much is because I didn't know that Bo Welch was involved. I didn't even know who Bo Welch was, I'll be honest. Because I'm terrible with names. But yeah, all those glossy pages. It's so good. Bo Welch is the one who did the set design for Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, and I'm like, that makes so much sense. He's also married to Catherine O'Hara, who plays the hypnotized lady. So this was the first time he got to work with his wife since Beetlejuice, because they met on Beetlejuice. But yeah. Yeah, right? Oh, yeah. Once I read that, I'm like, that makes 100% sense. Like 100%, I understand completely now. Like, yep, now that I know that it was the same set designer, I see it, I get it. Yep. I love Catherine O'Hara. Oh, I love Catherine O'Hara. I don't know if you watch Schitt's Creek at all. Have you seen Schitt's Creek? Oh, the baby. I use her gifs all the time. Gifts from Schitt's Creek with her character at work. I use them all the time. Like whenever we do good on something, I use the one that says, "When one of us shines, all of us shine." Yes, it's such a good TV show. Yes. But yeah, that's his wife. Bo Welch and her are married, and this was the first time they've worked together since Beetlejuice, which is where they met. It's crazy to me, but yeah. But anyway, like so much of like, I'm trying to look at my notes here, but like so much, I learned so much out of this book. It's so good. I'm like trying to figure out like what all. I did know, which they talked about in here, but I did know that they made Netflix pick up all seasons, because which is great because we knew that then we were going to get all seasons. But they made Netflix, one of like in their contract was that Netflix would pick up all seasons. And it was always going to be a limited series. It was never going to go past what it was supposed to be. It was always going to follow the books, which is, because sometimes they try to milk things and they try to drag things out, Game of Thrones, and go away from the books, and it just, then it becomes stagnant and you get sick of something. Star Wars is doing that too, even though it's not in your books. They're starting to draw out their welcome, but then you get bored with like the oversaturation. But they also wanted to make sure that they picked up all seasons so that way they could film all seasons because of the kids growing up, and they didn't want them to grow up too fast, especially Sunny. So that's another reason why they picked up all seasons, because season 2 and 3 I think are filmed like back to back. Season 1 was filmed by itself, and then season 2 and 3 were filmed just back to back without stopping production, which is crazy. But anyway, yeah. It was amazing to see Sunny. Yeah. Sunny's so freaking cute. I love her. Love her. She grows up so fast too. And knowing that like fact that like they filmed those back to back, like just shows like how fast kids grow. Because look at Sunny, like from season 1 to season 3, like she's walking in season 3. In season 1, she was not walking. And they filmed season 2 and 3 back to back, and it's like crazy. Yeah, did you know that I learned that in this book as well. Klaus is actually I think Klaus is actually older than Violet, I think, and he's actually taller than her as well. So like they had to do some stuff to make her shorter, to make her appear shorter, and to him because he was like starting to grow. Another reason why they wanted to film when they did. Yeah, Sunny is for the majority. Sunny is they used a fake baby from time to time, but for the majority of it is Sunny or the CGI stuff with like her, like when she's like eating like crazy and stuff like that. But yeah, they wanted to make sure that they picked up everything, which is great. I love. This book is so good. But yeah, I'm trying to like think like what else did I learn? Yeah, the elevator shaft. Yeah, like certain things it couldn't be her. Like when she's chewing on things, like when she's chewing on like wood and stuff, in like the in like the Lucky Smells lumber mill. Like it's like no. Oh, I did also learn. I don't know where it is in my notes, but I also learned that that when they were writing for the show, which is really cool. I don't know if all these like little in-depths are boring to you guys, to y'all or not, or if you want me to just save it for when you read the book. But I did learn that like Daniel Handler had, so they would all get together at his house to write, and he would actually cook like full meals, like most like writing things like people would just order out. But he would cook like actual meals, like 3 meals a day for the writing staff, and he was like deeply involved with the writing staff as well, which is another reason why this adaptation is so, because the actual author was involved with writing it. And like yeah, he cooked the entire, he always had food for the entire writing crew, like the writing staff, I mean, which is just so freaking cool and just shows so much about like his nature as a person. And I'm just like, this is so nice. But I was really happy that he was actually like on the writing staff. Yeah. Well, he wrote it with like the writers. Like there was like an actual crew, like an actual writing staff together. Yeah. Yeah, there's photos in here. I think if I can find them. I don't know if I put a tab there. But there's like spots where he actually, yeah, there's like photos of him like with like around the table with all the food and stuff. Oh, there it is. Is that it? Yeah, here he is. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Yeah, where they had like the board. There he is. He's right there. And like, yeah. And like they had like their boards, and yeah, he would just get around like that was like his kitchen table right there. And they would just sit around and write, and he would always have food. He would always cook full meals for them. Just so cool. It's so sweet. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's another thing like I learned too. Like there was so much in depth, and that's why I like this adaptation like is so good to me, is because they expanded on the story but they did it in a way that it didn't hinder the main story, and it was like an accurate adaptation, you know? Like, they said when they were building the storyline, they had, they used the prequels. There's like little hints of stuff that they used from the prequels, which I didn't even notice, which if you don't know, the All the Wrong Questions, Kay Kelly, All the Wrong Questions by Lemony Snicket. Shannon and I read those a while ago, but some of that stuff is in there hidden. And there's also um trying to think. Oh, stuff from the Beatrice letters. This stuff was incorporated in. Like all stuff like that was like snuck in. Yeah, he's just a kid in that series. Yeah. But I loved what they did with it because they said that they wanted to be true to the books, but they also needed, to make it a TV show, so they expanded and they used all the source material that they could. And I'm like, I love you guys. And see what I mean? Like, that is why I hate the movie so much, because they fired the fucking author. Like, who does that? I know that a lot of adaptations, like, I think nowadays people tend to use the authors of the materials for the adaptations, because I think people are learning that, like, they help more than they're a hindrance. But I think like because I feel like adaptations of books, especially now, have like grown, and I think they're a lot better now. But like some of those ones back in the early 2000s and in the 90s were just like just frustrating. What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Why don't you lay down? Oh my goodness, my leg's cramping. But yeah. Yeah, I think it works better as a TV show too. Like, I liked how they said they purposely made each episode two episodes, because they knew they wanted to actually like do it justice, and they knew they didn't want to cram it into one episode. So they knew they were going to do 2 episodes each book, except for the end, because they're like the episode 1 of the end didn't sound right, they said, and that's why the end is only 1 episode. But which makes sense because it's the end. But yeah, they said they wanted to do 2 episodes because they didn't want to cram it, which is what they did with the movie. They crammed 3 books into 1 movie, and wondered why it was crap. But yeah, they like. Ugh. I know, right? 1 is like the biggest book, but they said they didn't want it. They said like the end of the end didn't sound right or something. I forget what they said in here. No, I don't. See, that's what I don't remember. I don't think in the books that we learned. I think they expanded on that when it came to Ishmael. I'm pretty sure, because I can't remember them mentioning, but I was okay with them doing that because I felt like it kind of rounded out the VFD storyline like quite a bit and helped. But yeah, I don't think we're good. I think so. Even just that he worked at Proof Property and helped. Yeah. Oh my God, they did so much with Olaf's storyline as well, I think. Like in the end of the end, I felt like, we learned so much more about Olaf, and we learned by that point, like we rounded him out a little bit, but I felt like the actual show like did so much more of that with his character. Like, I mean, if you think about it, like Beatrice is a murderer, basically. She's a murderer, and Lemony Snicket is covering up a murder, like technically. And Olaf technically isn't the bad guy of the entire thing, you know, which is, and I love it because the TV show plays into that same central theme that we had all throughout the books of like people are not just good or evil. They're like shades of gray. They're a mixed salad. They're a chef salad with lots of good and bad things mixed in. Yeah, at the end of the show. Oh my goodness. Right? Remember, I don't know if you remember, like back when they were making the TV show, I was really anxious. I'm pretty sure I voiced it quite a bit on book 2, how anxious I was of Neil Patrick Harris playing the character. Because I don't know. I don't know why I hate myself now, like looking back. I'm like, you idiot, because he did it so well. But yeah, I was so anxious. I think because I was burned by Jim Carrey, you know, playing Olaf, because Jim Carrey was the wrong cast person to play Olaf. But I was just so scared. And then when he did play it, like, and like in here, it even more makes me like appreciate him as Olaf. I can't picture another person playing him now, because like him and I also learned in the book, this book, I learned that him and Patrick Warburton also, they both got I knew Neil Patrick Harris did. I really want this tattoo so bad. But they both actually got the eye tattoo. Patrick Warburton doesn't have any tattoos, and I don't think Neil Patrick Harris does either. But they both loved like this story so much, and this was like such a unique project for them, and they were so passionate about it that they actually got the tattoo, like permanent tattoo on their ankle. I knew Neil Patrick Harris did. I didn't know that Patrick Warburton did. That he was even cared that much about the stuff. Yeah, Patrick Warburton. Sorry, I didn't even say that. Patrick Warburton, the guy who plays Lemony Snicket. I didn't know that he also got the tattoo. And he's not a tattoo guy, and it'll probably be the only tattoo he gets, is what he said in one of these interviews. But it just shows how much the people around this like adaptation actually cared. Like Neil Patrick Harris read all of the books. So did Patrick Warburton. Even Bo Welsh, I think, says in an interview in here that he read all the books. Which, I mean, they're not hard to read. They're kids' books, basically. But so many people that worked on this project actually went the extra mile and like took care with the source material. Neil Patrick Harris really wanted to be a part of this project because he read the books to his kids. So it was like it was more of like a personal thing. Speaking of his kids, before I forget, they are in the Caligari Carnival episodes. His husband and his kids are in the Caligari Carnival episodes. His husband is in both episodes, I think. And the kids are in the second episode. They're in the crowd that grows. It starts out with just his husband there, and then his kids are there as well. They're the ones who actually talk. They have a line there, a couple lines. But yeah, they're actually in the show. But yeah, I think that, like I said, I think that's why I love like this adaptation so much, is because all these people actually took their time and actually cared about the source material, and weren't just trying to just make something to make something. It's like everyone from like the set design, which to the costumes, which we'll get into in a minute, to even like the hench people, everyone took such care with this adaptation that it like restored my humanity, restored my faith in humanity, my faith in adaptations. There we go. But yeah, I couldn't imagine working on like and not reading the books, like and not wanting. Yeah, everyone took such good care. And Patrick Warburton, like he said that when he did like this adaptation, this character, he looked at what was done with the what's his face did in the movie, but he didn't like that the way that was done, because this Lemony Snicket is more on camera, more visual. Whereas I don't think in the movie that Lemony Snicket has ever seen. What's his face plays him, but he's never actually seen. It's more like kind of like in the books where he's never seen in the books. Like he's always got those weird pictures where he's never seen in his author photo. But in this adaptation, he's seen, and he's a character basically, because he's like the narrator, but he's like a character as well. But he said that he did a lot of influence. He went to Alan Rickman was as Snape was like a huge influence for him, which I could see how he like long and drew things out, and it was monotone. And they also said that when deciding to do Patrick Warburton's character, they wanted very much they were thinking more Alfred Hitchcock and Twilight Zone vibes. They wanted Lemony Snicket to be that kind of like narrator where he's like on the screen, it's ominous and it's like a precursor. But yeah, he also he really wanted his scenes. Patrick Warburton wanted his scenes to be very like that first, I think it's like the first scene that you see him in, like where he's talking to the camera in like the sewers. I think that's the first scene, or maybe it's one of the last ones. That whole entire scene is one shot, like one take, like with the match, when he lights the match and he's burning the match. That's like one take. He like wanted it to be one take. So he's like reading scripts like backwards and forwards. But yeah, I think he had like the hardest job, I feel like, out of like everyone on the show. Like, Jesus. Or Neil Patrick Harris too, because Neil Patrick Harris has to play a character playing a character for like half of the movie. Yeah, more neutral or for both. Yes. Oh, I know. I love like the sewer system. There's a map in here of like the sewer system as well, I think. If I can find it. Oh, there's also a secret code in this book, but I never did it. I didn't do it because I was lazy. But ooh, Esme, we'll get into her in a minute. What am I doing? I'm looking for the maps. I don't know. I hope I. Oh yeah, here it is. There's like map of the tunnels. Look at. And it's shaped like an eye. But there's maps of like all the underground system. And apparently they were going to do, this is like the backstory of the tunnels. They were going to do they were supposed to be a subway system in the city. But what happened was it like didn't get funding, or it got decommissioned, or well, not decommissioned. It never got funding, or something happened. So then it became a trolley. They ended up doing the trolley system, which is what you see in the movies, like the trolley system. They ended up doing that on the surface instead, and that's why VFD took to the tunnels and did it, because it was supposed to be a subway system initially, but it ended up being a tunnel system, which is cool that backstory even exists. Right? And that's another reason why like I like grew so much appreciation for Neil Patrick Harris in this series, because like he has to be a good actor pretending to be a bad actor acting. You know? It's just crazy. And they were talking about in here about like his wardrobe as well, and like his prosthetics as well, because he has like his nose is not his nose. So like a lot of times they had to do his Olaf, persona, and then do his other persona on top of that persona without it being so much that you couldn't tell who he was. Like they they had a lot of fun, they said, with that, which I thought was really interesting. But anyway. Oh, and the Sugar Bowl. The Sugar Bowl in the show, the Sugar Bowl is actually based off of Daniel Handler's actual Sugar Bowl. So like when they were writing at Daniel Handler's house, and they were writing on his dining room table where they were set up, there's the actual Sugar Bowl was there, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that little tidbit. But but anyway, yeah. The medusoid mycelium, was it in what? Oh, no, the recipe for the cure, or to make you immune, not the cure, because we know the cure, the actual immunity recipe was in it. It was in the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, the immunity, like the vaccine, basically, which is crazy. God, I hate my neighbors. I hate my neighbors. I think she just wanted the bowl. I feel like Esme just wanted the bowl because it was taken from her, and she's like without permission again, which leads to like, who is really the bad person here? Because they just stole. They could have put it in something else. It was hers. I think that she is just likes her things, and it was just her. It was hers, and then it was taken, and then it became an obsession. I think it like because it was hers. It was like more the principle of the matter. I think towards the end. Like it was just, it was hers, and it was taken without permission. See, I don't know. I think Esme was related to VFD, but I think she was only. I think that I don't think she was an actual volunteer. I think she was more because she was with. I think she was with Lemony. And because like in those scenes, like she's with Lemony at like the opera. So I think they were dating, but like he was, which again is annoying, which shows those blurred lines because he was still like into Beatrice. Like he's like, because she's like Lemony dear, like because I think she was dating Lemony, and Kit's like, oh, he can't hear you when Beatrice is on stage. He only has eyes for her. But like I think he was dating Esme at that time, like at that point. I think she like, yeah. No, Kit was with Olaf. Beatrice was on stage, yeah. And Esme was with Lemony, because I'm pretty sure she says darling to him and like calls him like affectionate names. So I think it's implied that she is with Lemony. Which again, which could also be another reason why she was so pissed when Beatrice stole the Sugar Bowl, because it's like Beatrice like already like basically has her man, So I think like, yeah, I need a chart. Like there's like so many layers, and I think the TV show like it built on so many layers and answered so many things, but it also like created so many other like points, which is good though, because like the actual author wrote it. So it actually, I feel good with the information that was given. Yeah, it was Olaf's dad that they murdered. Like, yeah. And they wonder like why he gets like so. Yeah. It was accidental. Yeah, it was an accidental murder, but it was still a murder. Like, yeah, it needs a chart. But I think, and then when Lemony ends up on the lam, and that's why him and Beatrice like can't actually be together, and that's when I think that's when she meets the Beldelaire's dad and all that, but and ends up dating him and marrying him. But like Beatrice, and I think Beatrice, I don't know if Lemony and Beatrice ever dated, but I know they liked each other. Like some of that is like answered in here in some of the letters back and forth, but a lot of it's not at the same time. Like I never know if they were like officially dating or if he was just in love with her. Yeah. I don't know. It's just it's so much. But it does. It needs a chart. Yes. Very much so. It does make it a little bit more weird. Yeah. I think that I think they liked each other. I think she liked him. But I think once he like went on the lam, she couldn't be with him anyway, and I think it was too much on her. So I think that's when she ends up like falling in love with, well, even if she was in love, who knows if they were even in love, but I think they were, with the Beldelaire's dad. But I don't know. It's just interesting. I think it's interesting too because it's like one of like the few it's one of the few like middle grades that I've read where it's like there's multiple relationships, you know? Which is, well, hell, even like YA, you know? Like it's just interesting because there's multiple relationships. Um like Olaf has multiple relationships in the book. Like him and and Catherine O'Hara's character, him and Esme, him and Kit. And then the same with like Lemony Snicket and Beatrice, like Beatrice's dad and Lemony Snicket. And I think it's so neat because there's actual like multiple relationships, which you don't really see that often in, I don't think you see it. Maybe you do. Maybe I'm just dumb, but like, I don't know. I feel like you don't see it as often that well, if that makes sense. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but like, it's interesting because there's no like shame in any of the relationships. Like one isn't better than the other, although even Esme had her husband and then had, but anyway, she had like 3 relationships too, which is just, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's interesting. It's crazy. We need a chart. Yes, so much sorrow and so much. There is a letter in here that, like, if I ever got married, I would quote in my vows. But Josh would never understand what I was saying to him. Oh, I couldn't quote the whole thing because it's very long. But like, so in this one letter, he's answering all these questions to Beatrice. Lemony is, and he's like, to answer your question, blah 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 blah. Like, but question number 9 is always continuously with increasing apprehension and decreasing hope. I will love you with no regard to the actions of our enemies, of the jealous actors. I will love you with no regard to the outrage of certain parents or the boredom of certain friends. I will love you no matter what is served in world's cafeterias and what game is played at every recess. But like this whole thing is just like, I will love you no matter what, blah blah blah. But there is like a section in here, I can't remember. I will love you as the iceberg loves the ship and the passenger loves the lifeboat. I will love you as the wet paper towel loves to be crumpled up into a ball and thrown at a bathroom ceiling. Like it just keeps going. It's all these like I love you things. It's just like, anyway, but I really like this. I highly recommend this too if you can find this at like your library. I don't know if this is worth buying, especially since HarperCollins is being assholes right now. But this is literally letters. It's just letters. And it's letters. These are, you can't really see, but these are pop out letters. Like here. I've just never popped them out because but yeah. And it says like up here who it's from. Like Lemony Snicket to BB. And this is intermingled with Beatrice, the younger Beatrice, letters to Lemony, wanting to find like out where the Baudelaires are. So that's why he ends up like doing the research in the first place. But it's, yeah, this is a cool book if you're looking for just a little extra tidbit thing. But yeah. Sorry. Yes, because Beatrice calls herself Lemony. Yeah, because she's Kit's daughter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Like in the end of the, yeah, it's just it's a whole thing. I like I said, you need a chart. Oh, it's reference only. Mm. You can probably find like an ebook, probably maybe for it because you'll be able to read it in like a minute. I read that in like 5 minutes or so. Well, not that's exaggerating, but it's really quick. Or if you see it at like a thrift store or like a used bookstore. But yeah, it's interesting. Actually, that whole like the relationships in the just insane. Anyway, anyway, let's let's talk about hench people though. The hench people, because the hench people get so much more humanity and more expanded on in this series, this adaptation as well. I absolutely adore the hench people, and I think like we get that like same. They kept like that um same kind of like reasoning of why the hench people go with them, because Olaf gave them a family when they didn't have one. I think like I'm pretty sure that Ferdinand, the hook-handed man, I'm pretty sure that he says that at one point, that he says like that, Olaf was my family when my family abandoned me and all that. I love I love it. The hook-handed person, he said that a lot of people reached out to him, like a lot of people a lot of like people reached out to him because to see his like representation on the screen. They were just happy to see like his representation, which is cool. I think that's cool because it's weird. He said in here, I think he said in here, it's odd for a character to just being an Indian in, I think he's Indian, don't quote me. I'm pretty sure that's what he said in here. I don't want to get it wrong, but I should just look it up. But he said that oftentimes they're stereotyped in a lot of TV shows, and there's like fake accent, or like it's just stereotypes. And he said it was good to play just a character that is a character and doesn't have anything to do with that, but it's still representation. And he said that he had a lot of people reach out to him because of this adaptation and say how much it meant to them to see themselves on the screen, and to not have those stereotypes for that character. But anyway, yeah, Olaf was the only one that would take him in. Yeah, he blew up. Yeah, he blew up the mycelium. Yeah, he's like a good guy. It's crazy. Again, people like that blurring of the lines, the theme. I love it. Love it. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I absolutely adore the hook-handed man in the show so much. He's like one of my favorite characters. He's one of my favorite hench people, hands down. Him or the gender fluid one. Uh the Hoig, he said he called himself the Hoig. He said human of indiscriminate gender is what he would call his character. But yeah, the gender fluid one. But those two are like the ones that stand out the most to me. But the hook-handed man and his adoration of Sunny and their relationship, especially in the Slippery Slope, their relationship and how it grew. No, not even the Slippery. Oh, and then the Grim Grotto as well. Like he was willing to save. Like he's like Sonny's injured. Sonny's poisoned. Like he didn't care about the other kids, but he had like such a connection with Sonny, and I just love it. I love how that too, their relationship grew, because it did kind of grow in the books. Like it was seen a little bit in the books, but it was seen a lot in the show, and it was just chef's kiss. I absolutely love it, and the show does such a good job of like humanizing those characters in a way that was just Pakistani. Swat. I can't even say it. Swazi-born Pakistani. Yes, I knew. I was thinking Indian, and that was wrong. I suck. But yeah, yes, Pakistani. Yes. But anyway, thank you for looking it up, because I did not know, and I was being stupid. But yeah, they just. He's my favorite character. He's my favorite character on the show. Love him. Love him. He's perfect. I think like the other one, like I said, the one that's gender fluid, that character again was something that was like that character took that very seriously. I think he read all the books as well. But he was like he loved it because it wasn't like something we don't really see that often. Like we don't really see. He's basically he has no gender. He's just gender fluid, or they are gender fluid. And like that's not represented that often as well, which is just. I wrote a whole paper. I wrote a whole paper about series of unfortunate events for school, but I wrote a lot and I did a lot of research on that character. So like that character is really near and dear to my heart, because like some articles were saying that character was made to be a villain because they were trying to villainize LGBTQIA plus people, and like that they were trying to like give it like some alternative motive, which I disagreed with. If you read the series as a whole, no, because those characters are like the hench people are very humanized and aren't just villains. They're more lost, and are looking for a found family, much like LGBTQIA plus people have more often than not. Their found family is more of a family than their actual family. And I think that's like a huge like note in the books, I think. And I think like when debating that character and that structure for that character, because when the books were written, it was like the 90s, and it was early 2000s and 90s, and late 90s, early 2000s. And, like gender fluidity was not as talked about as it is now. So like I could understand initially why someone would think that, especially if they've only read one book, and they haven't read the whole series, or they haven't dove into the series like we have. I could understand why their initial reaction would be like, oh, well, he's a villain because he's, they made him out to be a villain because he is. And it's like, no, or because they are. Sorry, I keep misgendering them. They are they. But because I suck. But yeah, they like, no, they just happen to be, like Olaf took in everyone. It didn't have anything to do with their gender or their lack of gender. It just had to do with them being there and looking for a found family. Looking for desire for family and love where there was none. So, but I'm getting off my soapbox. That's like when I read like some of the articles, when I was writing that paper, some of the articles, I'm like fuming. I'm like, no, this is wrong. But you have to like argue both sides, and I'm just like, but they're wrong. Oh, when Ferdinand finds his sister. Oh, oh, oh. I love them. I love them. Everyone has more to their story. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I just, like, it's a huge, like, soapbox moment for me is when people, like, misrepresent that character. Like, I think that's another thing that I like about the show adaptation versus the movie adaptation, because I can't even remember the hench people of the movie adaptation, like, at all. Like, at all. And I think that's a problem because they are such a, like, they're not a huge role in the books, but they are at the same time, and they're important to the overall story. And I liked that they expanded with them and that they did more with them in the books. But so I also love the bald-headed man's obsession with Esme. I love it. I love it so much. He's so in love with her. It's stupid, and I love it so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. But anyway. Just like, yeah, they're important characters. They are. And it's important to learn why they're with Olaf, I think. Like, why did they turn to this? Because I think that's a great thing for kids as well that are reading the series, to like learn like about humanity, humans and humanity as in general, like how like complex humans are, and that like it's not just it's not just black and white. Things are shades of gray. And I think it creates so much empathy, I think, for kids, because like you want to just hate someone because they're evil, but there's like all these other layers, and I love that. It's one of my favorite things about this series. Because I'm biased, I really like a villain, but when my villain is complicated, like I have a character in my pirate novel that is very like she's very self-serving, but she's also very morally gray. And I love that. I love a character like that. Because characters should be gray, because humans are gray. He had his name on her lockers. Take care of her. Oh my god, yes. Yes. I love it. Yes, the librarian. Do you know her? So I think hers, because she's not in the books for us. Like I don't think she's in the books. But she is actually, they named her, I'm pretty sure they named her after one of the characters in the prequels. Caliban. I think they took her last name from the prequels. My neighbor is a piece of shit and really annoying, but he's like wooing over there and being annoying. But anyway, yes, Olivia Caliban. Because she's in the prequels, or at least that name is. Yeah. The Tempest. We love the Tempest references. The Shakespeare references. Yeah, or at least there is a Caliban in the prequels. I can't remember specifically, but I think if I'm remembering correctly from this, well, if you read this, I'm pretty sure they mention it in here, but I don't think I wrote it down. Yeah, I don't think I wrote it. Oh, in my note, even the music composer, the person who composed the music for the show, the songs, which can we talk about the songs? I love the songs so much. Oh boy, Ari's about ready to hold on. I have to show you. She's about ready to ignore my bed. It's a mess, but she's about ready to pounce when one of her siblings are in there. Like she's standing on him. What are you doing, Ari? Get off of them. I had to share. But the song, so Josh doesn't like the show. He's never watched it. But and he's not a fan of the books because he's never read them. But so he doesn't get the show. He thinks, which I understand from someone's outside perspective, the show is weird. But for me, it's like, but he always says that the songs, he goes, the music is the best part of that show. He goes, that song at the opening. I'm like, you mean the song that changes every single episode? He's like, it changes. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, it was really funny because Josh said to me the other day, he goes, that show sucks so much that even the title is telling you to look away. It literally tells you to not watch the show. I'm like, Josh, the books tell you to not read them. He's like, what? I'm like, the books. Every single book tells you to not read it multiple times. He's like, why? I'm like, because it's a sad story. I'm like, so when they're doing that with the show, with the songs, that's intentional. I'm like, it plays off of what they did with the books. But the music, the composer that did the music for the TV show, he was a big fan of the books. He read all the books. And when they were writing the songs, he also wrote the songs with, like, he wrote back and forth with Daniel Handler. It's like he actually, like, even the composer took time with the, like, it shows like how much people actually gave a fuck when doing this show. And it like just makes me like love it so much more. Every little time I learn a little tidbit, I'm like, yes. I'm like, this is why this show is so perfect. But part 2 of the episodes, yeah, it does spoil. It spoils everything. The intro does. It helps when you've like watched it so many times. But I don't mind spoilers. But Josh gets a little annoyed, but he doesn't watch the show, so he doesn't care. But he loves the song. I just like choked on that. I played for him the other day. I go, there's other songs too. I said, there's this really good one that honestly I want to buy because I want to listen to it all the time. The one that's like the Sorrows and Woes song. I forget what it's called. The Tale is All Sorrows and Woes, which is the end at the end of the season, at the end of season 1, I think is the song. I think it's at the end of every episode, every season. Oh, That's Not How the Story Goes. That song. I want to like listen to it like all the time. But I played that for him too, and he goes, see, I love this. He goes, this is so good. He goes, the music is the best part. I'm like, I know, it's great, but everything about this show is the best part. But the music, I think, won an award. I'm pretty sure it was one of the awards for the show, which is so good because. But anyway, oh yeah, it makes me cry too. It made me cry like the first time I heard that song. It makes me like well up. It's such a good song. Oh, but I thought I was super witty when I posted about this book on Instagram. And I said, "Look away, look away." I thought I was so witty. But yeah, the music, just even the music, like they took care because he was a fan. I love you guys. Oh, it's just like yeah. And I like I said, like I think like it shows how much they cared that they won like awards and stuff. And like I know the costume department as well was nominated. I think they won for awards, which they definitely deserve it. Like which there's Esme. Can we talk about Esme, by the way? Oh my god. But Esme's costumes, like all the costumes are great, but Esme's costumes are everything to me. Gotta find them. So I didn't know that, like I didn't notice before that the costumes for Esme get more and more extreme as she's trying to get his attention. Like as she's trying to get Olaf's more and more of Olaf's attention, and like the costumes get more and more extreme, like the octopus one. Like, yes, the octopus costume. See, that's the costume I didn't want to spoil for Kay Kelly, because it's one of my favorites. That costume is everything to me. Everything. Yeah, the ski slip. I don't really like the ski slope one. No, but the octopus one is just. I swear to God, I'm pretty sure that I tabbed out her costumes. She said that the octopus costume was actually the most comfortable costume, which is kind of surprising to me. And the least comfortable costume was the boots from the Vile Village episode when she plays the cop. The boots she said were actually the most uncomfortable costume. Oh, I've been passing it like multiple times. But like, there's a couple of her. But yeah, these boots. She said that these boots were like the most uncomfortable. She could barely walk in them. So like, but she said the octopus costume was really comfortable because she could move around really easily with it. Actually, like, even though it is like a big costume, it could navigate like a lot of that set, because that set is really tight. And here's like some of the sketches, which I love looking at, of like different like variations of what they were gonna do. But I love it's my favorite. I love it so much. I love Esme. Oh my God, I love her so much. But her like obsessed. Oh, and the stiletto heels were actual knives. Those were real. In the hospital episode. Yeah. I love Esme so much. I love her so freaking much. I hate her, but I also love her. Her costumes. I love that actress. She played her so well. Plus, I love like what they did with her characters. Just her costumes. Her costumes are just wild. Oh, here we go. There's a whole section here about like the makeup and see, look. It's actual. The shoes were actual knives. They were real. That whole scene too. That whole scene in the hostile hospital. Those filing cabinets were actually on hinges, and that's why they got them to fall the way they did. I didn't know that, but like, this book is so cool. Sorry, I bumped it. I love Freaks one. Oh my God. Oh yeah. They're so good at being annoying. I haven't seen it. Yeah, I like her. I loved her character so much. There's like so many cool like actors. Like there's like this is like an all-star cast, the show when it comes to like the guest actors and stuff. Like there are some really cool actors like in the show, and like the guy who plays Schmidt from New Girl. We have Will Arnett. We have the guy from we also have the guy we have Tony Hale. We have the chick from How I Met Your Mother, I forget her name. There's also Nathan Fillion. There's also a reference to she said there. Oh my God, I quoted it somewhere in my millions of notes. What episode was it in? My freaking neighbors. I hate him so much. He's so loud. Oh, I think it's in Carnivorous Carnival. There's an episode of like there's an episode where there's a scene. There's a scene with Esme or something where she says about going back to the city, or she says doing a show in the city or something. Like taking the show to the city or something like that. And Neil Patrick Harris says, Count Olaf says, I tried that for 9 years, and what did it get me? And I'm like, he's referencing How I Met Your Mother, and it's so meta, and it's such like a tiny little itty bitty like reference, but there's like so many of those throughout the whole show. There's like little Easter eggs from like stupid things like that, and I'm just like, he did not say that. Because I watched that. That was one of the episodes that I watched on the plane. And I'm like, I was literally giggling to myself on the flight. Like, I'm like sitting there like, oh my God, he did not just say that. Because the first time I watched it, I missed that completely. Because I don't think I watched How I Met Your Mother yet. Or I think I did actually, but I just wasn't thinking of it in that moment. So I completely missed that joke. But I'm like, but sorry, I'm eye searching. God damn it. Eye searching. You're not missing anything if you don't watch How I Met Your Mother. You're not missing anything. I think his character was like the only character in How I Met Your Mother that I actually liked. But I watched all of it because Josh made me. And I absolutely hated it. I said to Josh, I hate the ending. I'm like, this ending is terrible. I hate every second of it. I'm like, they should have ended it here and not continued here. Which I won't spoil it for you if you haven't done it, if you haven't watched all of it, or you haven't watched any of it. I won't spoil it for you, but I think it went on too long. Because at the end, I'm like, I don't care who the mother is at that point. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm like, I'm sick of watching this guy go through like the same bullshit. Like, it's boring. And then at the end, like I liked the ending, and then I didn't like the ending. Like, it went from, I'm like, oh, I really loved it. Like, this ending is great. I like this. And then it like quickly 180'd for me, and I ended up hating it. I'm like, yep, I hate everything about this now. This is terrible. I wasted nine seasons of my life. Like, gone. How many hours is that? Just gone. And I was so pissed. So yeah. I mean, it's too long. It's too long. It is way too long. Am I glad that I watched it so now I can complain about it? Yes. Because that's the only thing I get out of it now. But yeah, it went on too long. I loved character development for certain characters, but then at the end, I was really pissed. Absolutely pissed at the ending. Anyway. Valeria the waiter guy. Yeah, he's not in the book. Well, there is like a waiter, but he's not the same character. Who is scratching me? Who is that? Hi, Sansi. I kind of knew it was you. Hi. She's like pawing. She's going like this. Well, get up here. Get up here. No? Oh, you're so sweet. You're so pretty. Anyway. That's another character they expanded on. That one and Jacqueline, Poe's secretary. Oh, and they also made Poe's wife the Daily Punctilio lady, because that's not in the books. Like, there is a Daily Punctilio is a thing, obviously, in the books, but not her. She isn't the one, but it makes sense that she is. Watch a lot of comedies. Yeah, Oh, I still haven't finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like, I've watched episodes, but I haven't finished like the last couple seasons straight through. Like, I know what happens and I've seen what happens, but I haven't watched it consecutively, if that makes sense. So technically I'm done, but not actually done. Hi, Sansa. See, I knew you'd come up. God damn it. Claws. Girl, you don't have to do happy claws on me. It hurts, mommy. She's like, look at this face. Look at that face. She's like, I'm sorry, mommy. She's like, please put me down. This sucks. This is terrible. What you doing? Mommy doesn't have thick skin. You claw in my legs. These pants are not thick. They're very thin, and the claws, they hurt. So stop it. Stop it. I'm going to stop petting you because it's just making you happier and it's making you dig them in more. Feels good. Feels great. So many shows go, it's for real. So many shows go on way too long. That's why you like BBC shows. Except for Doctor Who. Doctor Who's BBC, and that's never going to end, which is fine with me because Doctor Who's great. I'm finally catching up on Doctor Who because we have HBO Max at the moment. I'm finally catching up on Doctor Who. We have like a free trial of it for like a year or a couple years or something. So finally catching up, but very slowly. I'm like 2 doctors behind. Yeah, I think I'm 2 doctors behind. I watched all of Matt Smith. I watched all of David Tennant. I've watched and everything back, but not everything, but like I've watched some back. So I need to finish Peter Pertaldi, whatever. I have to finish him, and then I have to finish what's her face, and there's a new season coming. Maybe, I don't know. I'm getting the first Black Doctor, which is cool. Capaldi, that's it. And then I got the first woman doctor, which is sick. And then we're getting a Black Doctor. Finally, took them long enough. But I'm so excited. I absolutely love Doctor Who, and I can finally catch up because we have HBO Max. Finally, it used to be on Hulu, so I used to be able to watch it, but now I can't. And then we just got HBO Max, so now I can finally watch it. Go. She's like teetering. She said there wasn't enough cats in the show. I just saw that. Oh my goodness, Larry the Waiter reminds you of the guy from Gilmore Girls. What is that guy's name? Kurt from Gilmore Girls. I love that guy. No, I'm behind on everything. Any episodes you enjoyed more or less in comparison to the book? More or less? I'm trying to think. I think I like the Vile Village more. I think I like the Vile Village more in book form. I think. I'm like looking at the books because they're over there. They're all over there. I'm like trying to think. Ugh. I also might like the end better in book form too. Maybe like a tiny bit, even though we did get more backstory. So maybe not. I don't know. Oh, Miserable Mill. Yeah, Miserable Mill is a really good one because to get Catherine O'Hara. So yeah. Oh, what's his face? Oh my God. See, I know that guy from what's his face? Oh, he's in here too. He's interviewed in here too. What's his name? We just watched something else with him in. I watched him in Our Flag Means Death. If you haven't seen it, well, it's an HBO Max show too, of course. But I absolutely love it. Reese, yeah, what Reese Darby. Reese Darby. He's in Our Flag Means Death as well, which I just finished, and yeah, he's also in What We Do at the Shadows. Yeah, the film version, which I haven't watched actually. I love What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show. Like, oh yeah, Wide Window. Yeah, that's one of my least favorite books. Yeah, and I think that's I really like that show. Yeah. Capaldi was actually really I'm really enjoying the Capaldi season, by the way. Sorry, I'm all over the place. But I'm really enjoying because that's where I'm at right now. I'm trudging through the Capaldi season and I actually really like that doctor. And I really like the actress that plays his companion in that series, in that season, those seasons. That season. I really like the actress that plays, because she was in a little bit of Matt Smith, but now she's in with him. I forget her name. I forget even her companion, like the actor's name. I forget the actor's name. I forget the name of the character. But I really like she's really cool. Anyway, sorry, Doctor Who. God, my eyes itch so much. It's freaking allergies. I'm allergic to cats. Not really. Yeah. I think the best part of the Slippery Slope episodes are the bonding with the Hook-Handed Man and Sunny. But I do think the book is a tiny bit better probably. But yeah. Oh. I watched the What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, the adaptation, because they did the new show. And it's one of my favorite shows that is on now. It is definitely one of my favorite current TV shows for sure, 100%. And Josh didn't like it at first, because it was one of those shows that I started without him. And then next thing you know, he was watching a couple episodes. Also, one of his friends was watching it. My opinion means jack shit, but his friend's opinion, all of a sudden he needs to watch it. But he watched a little bit of it, a little bit of it while I was watching it, and he's like, okay, this is actually funny. So then we started at the beginning, and now we watch it when it comes out, and we watch it thoroughly. His favorite character is the guy he was also in The Office. I forget his name. He was also in The Office. Can't remember his name, but the show is great. Oh my goodness, 13 new seasons. Yeah, there's a lot of Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a serious commitment. It is a huge commitment. There's a lot of Doctor Who. And then there's Doctor Who from then there's the old episodes of Doctor Who, which are all there's so much Doctor Who. What is she doing? Being bad. Causing trouble. I'll have to watch that. I've never seen that. There isn't any on. Oh, I watch it on Hulu, so that's where I watch it. But I hate my neighbor. He's yelling. I think I think even the old episodes are available on HBO Plus, but I haven't looked. I've watched some of the old episodes, but not all of them, and definitely not in order. That's for damn sure. There's way too many. But anyway. I love Reese Darby. Anyway, that's where I was going. He's in Our Flag Means Death, and if you haven't watched Our Flag Means Death, Our Flag Means Death is. It's on Disney Plus. What? Oh. Ooh. Just watch it. That's handy. Get out of here. You just come up here and then you bug me and then you don't want me and then you claw the shit out of my legs and then you move on. This is what's gonna happen. It's like you get bored with me. I love you. You're so stupid. I love you. You're not stupid, actually. You're very smart. You're a very smart kitty. Yeah. You're a good girl. Not really. You're actually the worst one when it comes to behavior. You're very bad. But you're my bad girl. Oh my God, the claws. I take it back. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Take it back. I was so mean. Oh, God, the claws. It hurts. It hurts so bad. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at these. She's like, what? What'd I do? She's purring. She's like, I don't care how you hold me. So she has kind of like, out of all my cats, since she's the lightest one, we've been through this, but since Sansa's the lightest one, she has like a little bit of like almost yellow, not yellow, but she's like almost orange tint to her. And they always say that orange cats are like really weird and goofy and like the most rambunctious cats. And I believe that because she looks like she's got like a little bit of orange in her and she is the weirdest. And she'll let me like flop her down. Like she just doesn't care. She's very floppy kitty. Can hold her any which way. She's the one who like sleeps around my shoulder sometimes. I can pretty much just do anything with her. She doesn't even care. She's so sweet. She just doesn't care. She's like, whatever, Mom. Although I do try to annoy her so that way she leaves me alone. Yeah, right? Orange cats are just weird. They're weird kitties. But in the best way. In the best way. Anyway. Where was I? What else did we have to talk about? Ouch. See? They're crazy. They are. They're like extra special. Someone's growling over there because Ari is standing on someone and they're growling. I'm trying to find my notes. Season 2 has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I wonder if that's still true. I wrote that from this book, but soft spot for orange cats. Oh, black cats are the sweetest. Black cats are the best. Black cats are the absolute sweetest cats ever. And orange cats are just special kind of crazy. I actually learned that tuxedo cats, which is what Bane is, not black cats, are actually the least adopted. It's not black cats. It's actually tuxedo cats. I don't know where I learned that, but I did learn that somewhere. So maybe not cite me, but I did learn that somewhere. That like tuxedo cats are actually harder to find homes for than just black cats. Because more people want just black cats, but not so many people want tuxedo cats. I don't know. Bane followed me home one day, so he came to me. I got stuck with him. I love my tuxedo cat, though. He's my boy. Yeah, I don't know why. I think because, like, black cats have a stigma about them, but I don't think it has as much of a stigma now. I think more people like an all black cat. But tuxedo cats, like black and white cats, are actually the least adopted. Probably because more people just want an all black cat. I want an all black cat, but I got my Bane. I'm happy with my Bane. I love my Bane. Especially this time of year, because he's actually snuggly this time of year. Although I just tried I filmed my goals, my loose goals video, or my TBR, I can't remember, for January or whatever. I filmed 2 videos today. But I filmed something today and he would not leave me alone. And I was getting really frustrated because he kept bumping the camera. He's such a pain in the ass. He wants nothing to do with me except for when it's cold and when I'm filming. or sometimes when I'm doing stuff like this, like when I'm in school or I'm on camera, sometimes he bugs me during that, but it's mostly when I'm filming. I don't know why. He's an asshole. I love him so much, but he's such a butthead. Are there more black cats than black and white? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know why. I just I forget where I learned it though. So don't cite me on that fact, but I think it was a shelter posted about it. But I don't know 100%. So like I said, don't quote me, but it's like, why aren't you talking to me? Because he doesn't want anything to do with me any other time. It's such cat behavior. He is such a cat. When it's like all my other ones are clingy. Like, don't get me wrong, all of my babies are clingy, especially the kittens, because they are very much smothered. I smothered them as babies. I made them very clingy, and I'm proud of it. But it gets annoying sometimes. But I love that they're snuggly babies. But Bane is like, I didn't have Bane when he was a kitten. I had him when he was like 1 year old, maybe. Like when I found him, or when he found me, is what I usually say. But like, he is very much a cat. Like, he doesn't want anything to do with me until I'm doing something else. Like, oh, now he wants my attention. It gets so annoying. Like, even it does it to Josh too. Like, Josh will be gaming, and that's when Bane wants to like get all up on his lap and do happy paws and all the things. He's like, ugh! He's like, any other time you want nothing to do with me. I'm like, he's a cat. That's what they do. But Bane is like the most cat of all the cats in the house. Wants nothing to do with you until you're doing something else that you don't want to be bothered with. That's why I love cats, because they're such assholes, and I love them so much. Amazing. It was a hospital. Snicket File. Oh yeah, a film. Yes. The Snicket File. Yes. And it was also like they thought that like that's what Esme was after, not the Sugar Bowl. They didn't know that it was like the Sugar Bowl. Oh, that also had a guest star in it. They had 2 guest stars in that one, in those episodes. I love the guy. I forget his name. Already. Greer. I wrote it down, but I don't know where it is. But the actor that plays, I can't remember his name either. The guy who plays the guy who's in charge of the Library of Records, that guy, because he was on In Living Color. That's what I know him from, and a couple other things. But like, I love that actor. Hal, yes, I love that actor. Not enough that I know his name. Apparently, I forgot his name. But do I have it written down? David Alan Grier. Yes, in Living Color. That's what I know him from. Pretty sure he's on. Yeah. I love him. It's almost 9:00 here, and this neighbor is still being an asshole. Still blaring music. Ridiculous. Yes, this changes everything. Ah. Oh, and then there was the other lady too. I forget what I know her from, but she's a guest actor too. And Joan Cusack. We forgot about Joan Cusack, who plays she plays, what's her face? Justice Strauss. There's so many guest stars. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Completely forgot. Oh, I'm gonna get you, sucker. Yep. Which is a Wayne's Brothers movie, I'm pretty sure. So that makes sense because they knew each other from In Living Color. But Yep. The many JSs. There's so many. Jerome Squaller, Justice Strauss, Jacques. Oh yeah, I love the Wayne's Brothers. I love the Wayans brothers. I like their TV show too, because every now and again they'll show reruns on BET, and I'll watch it when I'm feeling like I need to pick me up. I watch the Wayans brothers show. It's good stuff. It's just good stuff. I showed, what video did I show? Josh was drinking pickle juice the other day out of like the jar, like leftover pickle juice. I'm like, are you pregnant? Like he was drinking it out of there, and it reminded me of this really disgusting scene from In Living Color. And I had to show it to him. I'm like, this is what I'm thinking of when I'm watching you drink that. And it's just terrible. I hate it. Yes, I love that. Like, see, there's like another like layer to everything. I think that like they're kind of hinting at how the justice system is kind of not justice. Yeah, there's so many layers to that too. Like the system's kind of broken. And it's held by corrupt people. Like the corrupt people at the top were the bearded man with no hair, and the lady with no beard, with all hair and no beard. Like they were like the main masterminds behind everything. They were the bad guys, not Count Olaf. Like Count Olaf is bad, but he was led astray. But yeah. God, I'm cold. Oh. I don't know if that's, hopefully it's not too loud, my heater. My little heater. Yeah, I don't remember if I wrote anything about Penultimate Peril. Oh my god, the only thing that I wrote about Penultimate Peril in my notes is an Esme Squalor quote. Well, an Esme and Carmelita Spatz. That actress for Carmelita Spatz is like insane to me. She did such a good job, because I genuinely like nails on a chalkboard like every time she spoke, which proves like just how good that actress did, because I fucking hated her. I hated her so much. And I'm like, that actress did such a good job, because that character is so unbelievably annoying. Like, like I just wanted to strangle her. But there's a quote. This is the only quote that I wrote down from Penultimate Peril. It says, Carmelita says, "Is Count Olaf not going to be my daddy anymore?" And then Esme says, "He's not mine either." And I died. I was laughing so hard, because I don't think I realized that quote when I first watched it. Maybe it's because I haven't read, I just started reading more smutty romance books maybe this past year, so my brain is in a different subset. But that like that line killed me. He's not my daddy either. I'm like, Esme. I'm like, oh my god. Because it's like one of those quotes, it's what I love that they do with kids shows. I love when they put things like that in, that like a kid is just going to bypass through, like a kid's not even going to think second like of that, but the adult watching that show, it's going to be like, like it's just a throwaway line that is just in there for adults. He's not mine either. Oh my god, loved it. Oh. Yes, and not leave with Lemony. They just say their piece. I know, and it's like, so that whole scene, that whole episode is so heartbreaking as well. Ugh, because like I'm like, no, you should just leave it, guys, just leave it. Like, ugh. No, I don't think they did that in the book. The library. Oh, I love Carmelita and Esme's bonding. I love their bonding because I feel like because Esme only wanted the orphans, like she only wanted them as a commodity, but Carmelita and her actually bonded, like they actually got along, like she actually found someone that paired with her, as terrible as fucking Carmelita is. And I think Carmelita found that in Esme because she didn't have that with her parents. Her parents basically tossed her away, probably for good reason, because she's a spoiled little brat. But like they each found something in each other, which is kind of nice in a terrible way. 2 hours. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. 2 hours. Oh my God. Sorry. Favorite episode, favorite guest star. Favorite episode. Ooh, the reptile room was so good too. We didn't really talk about the reptile room, but the reptile room was really good. My favorite guest star. I don't know. Tony Hale, maybe. I really like Tony Hale though, so I'm kind of biased with that. I really dig Tony Hale. I also really dig the guy who plays Schmidt in New Girl, who plays Dewey and Frank and Ernest. Ari? Ari? I'm cold. I'm playing with the heater. I'm freezing. It's cold. It's not even cold out, but I'm cold. Are you cold? Okay, goodbye. She left. Monty's curly mustache. I love that actress. Yeah, I love that actor too. Like yes, Tony Hale was Jerome. Sorry, yes, Tony Hale was Jerome. I love Tony Hale. It's just so funny. Oh my god. I cracked a case. This is I just looked at my notes. I cracked something that has been bothering me for forever since I've read the series. And I can't believe that I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I kind of hate past me for not noticing and for not putting it together. Edgar Allan Poe died of tuberculosis, which causes a cough. Mr. Poe has a cough. Edgar Allan Poe died of tuberculosis. That's why Mr. Poe has a cough. That's why he has a cough, because of tuberculosis. Yep. Mr. Poe's cough has annoyed me. I like that little tidbit about him. He's always freaking coughing. But it has annoyed me why he's always coughing for the longest time. And it's not like he doesn't have tuberculosis. He just has they kind of described it as more he just has like a nervous, that's like his nervous tick is a cough. But that's why he has a cough, is because he's named after Edgar Allan Poe. And Edgar Allan Poe died of tuberculosis. I learned that in here, actually, I think. I don't know where did I don't know. I forget where it is. Yes, right here. It says that this is I didn't crack the case. I found it. Which I guess is kind of correct. I got the information. But right here in the end of this book, it has every single character and every like a whole bunch of things referenced. There's just a whole bunch of things. This whole book is fucking awesome. I love this book so much. But it says in the back here, it says author Poe. Arthur Poe, which is the Belledelaire's coughing banker, shares a surname with writer Edgar Allan Poe, whose own cough was a symptom of tuberculosis. My whole life has been changed. My whole life, I've never been more happy to own a book. I was so happy. Oh, Edgar Allan Poe. Mr. Poe on the phone. I love Poe. I mean, I hate Poe, but like I love that. That actor did such a good job. Oh my god! And there's a lottery reference. In there, I forget. I wrote it down somewhere. I forget what episode it is. He says something. See, there's so many tiny little references to so many different things. Like One of Us is a reference to an old, like in the Carnivorous Carnival episode, they're going, one of us. That's a reference to a horror movie that had like pinheads. I forget what it was called. They had pinheads. And they were like freaks. Forget the movie. Maybe I could find it. Yeah, Google Gobble. One of Us Google Gobble. Because that is referenced in that's referenced in Ramones. This is Gabba Gabba, we accept you, one of us. That's like, a Ramon song. Hopefully it doesn't flag me for that. But that's also a reference to a movie. Yes. Freaks. Yeah. The 1932 movie. Yes. Which is what they're referencing in that episode. They're referencing Freaks. They're referencing the movie Freaks. There's so many little things. So many little things. No, not Hillary. Sorry, not Coneheads. No. Yeah, they're referencing the movie Freaks, which it came out in like 1930s, which is also what that Freaks is what that whole like Gabba Gabba, we accept you, one of us, that Ramones song, that is a reference to that movie because they're dancing around the fire and they're saying we accept you. But that was a reference in Carnivorous Carnival. There's so many things. There's so many layers. But I was looking, that's not what I was looking for. It's not what I was looking for. I was looking for in the Vile Village, when they are heading to, I think they're heading to Vile Village, and they're in the car with Mr. Poe. He references, he said, there's a lovely story or a pleasant story by Shirley Jackson in which someone wins the lottery. And I'm like, pleasant story. I'm like, oh boy. There are so many references. Oh my god. But that was one that like stood out to me. But there's so many like little, oh my god, there's just so many. So many references. So many little things. Anyway, that was one of like the little ones that I'm like, oh my god. Poe would say that was a pleasant story. Good Lord. You sound like a full-grown human. Fucking cats. Yeah. See, that's another one of those jokes that are for the adults in the room. Like, no kid is just going to bypass that line. And then an adult who's like knows what the lottery's about is like, okay. Like, oh, pleasant story. Oh, Lord, baby Jesus. So funny. It's so funny. There was a Julia Child reference. I'm like looking at all the things. There's a Julia Child reference in the Grim Grotto with Cookie, which is the guy who was in the guy from the Mill. I forgot his name. But he said he quotes like Julia Child. He's like my aunt or something, he said, his aunt. And he's quoting Julia Child. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I think those are all my like little tiny references that I found. Oh, there's so many Shining references. And by so many, I mean there's like 2. There's Shining references in the hospital episode. There's 2 of them. There's the one with Nurse Lucafont. He's like, here I am. He hacks through the wall, or they. Oh, I always misgender. I'm terrible. But they're hacking through the wall, and they're like, here I am. And then the two white-faced women are in the hallway with like the balloons. Like, oh my goodness. I think that's all of my references that I caught. I think. I was wondering if that was a Julia Child reference. Yeah. Those episodes are so creepy. And especially when Olaf is walking through the hospital and he's making it creepy for what's her face, for the main lady, I forget her name. But when he's making things like extra creepy for her and he's like hitting like the lights and knocking all the lights out. I don't like hospitals to begin with. I have like a hospital anxiety. So like we mentioned this when I read the books. Like that is the scariest book to me. And it's the scariest of the episodes are those 2 episodes. Like I don't do hospitals. Those are not my spaces. Some people don't do carnivals. So like the carnivals episodes are like scarier, but no. Hospital is scary. Yeah. That episode was so creepy. So creepy. Which reminds me, speaking of that episode, Klaus is actually British, the actor. So he had to pretend to be, because when he pretends to be the doctor's like British. So he had to pretend to be an actor that he had to act being American or have an American accent or a regular accent. Not regular, but American, or I guess it could be. Yeah, it was American because technically they're in America, technically, even though it doesn't really have a place or period. They're technically, I think, American, whatever. But I was going to say Canadian, but sometimes Canadian, sometimes Canada, parts of Canada have an accent too, but the actor is British. So he had to play an American. He had to pretend that he had to act as an American pretending to be a British person. And he said that scene was actually really hard for him because he kept slipping into his American accent because he was so used to playing that character as an American. So yeah, he said that was one of the hardest scenes for him to like film because he kept slipping back into American, which is interesting. But yeah, he's British in real life, which I didn't know. Yeah, they did it with Duchess of Winnipeg. That's true. And this is all filmed in. All of this was filmed in Canada, Toronto. I think. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that several accents in Canada. Yeah, because you have like Canadian French, and then you have just, I don't know. It's the same way with the U.S. Like there's so many American accents too. My accent is vastly different than someone in, I don't know, all the way over and down. I think it's Toronto. I'm pretty sure it was filmed in Toronto. I'm pretty sure, but it might have been BC. It might have been. I'm not sure. But I do know it was filmed in Canada. All of it was filmed in Canada. But and what's his face? The Barry Sonnenfeld, the director. Is he the director? Barry Sonnenfeld. I'm gonna mess it up. Is it on the back here? No. Yeah, Barry Sonnenfeld. He's the director, I believe. But he has a portrait in every single episode as well. Every single episode there's a portrait of him, which I didn't know that. I never noticed it before. And now, like, they actually, like, now that I knew it when I watched it, like, I couldn't not see it then, because, like, they always, like, zoom in on it. And I never noticed. I didn't notice the first time because I wasn't looking, and I'm just like, okay. I can't find it now, though. But yeah, he has like a portrait in every single episode. Oh, and there's so many spoilers for the rest of the show on the blackboard in Proof Rock Prep. It's like spoilers for like the whole episode. Like, there's a lighthouse, there's the balloon, there's the sugar bowl, there's the Grim Grotto helmet, there's the Mydoisoid mycelium on the board. There's like so many spoilers on the boards, but I never noticed that before either. Oh my god, in the Earthsats elevator. I want to live in Esme and Jerome's apartment. It is so beautiful. I'm trying to find this like portrait. God, I love this sets. They're so cool. I can't find it, but yeah, there's a portrait of him in every single episode. I can't find it. It's gonna annoy me. I thought I tabbed it out, but I'm stupid. Oh, here they are. There. They did it as like a joke, like the first episode, and then they ended up doing it for all of it. Like in the hostile hospital, he's like one of the heads things, or maybe this was him in the hostile hospital. I think this is it from the hostile hospital, because they pull down that like chart when they're gonna chop off Violet's head, which is creepy. The Carnivorous Carnival, he's like the ringmaster in that portrait. I forget what this one's from. This one's from the Vile Village, I think. He's in the Grim Grotto. Proof Rock Prep. Like he has a portrait in every single episode. See, that's Barry. See, that's this guy, which is kind of cool. I think I can't remember if he's the director or the showrunner. Oh, he's the showrunner and the director. It started as a joke and then became sort of required, it says. He said back when Barry, so they worked together, Bo Welch and him, they worked together on Men in Black 2. Bo Welch is the guy who worked on Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands. But they also worked on Men in Black 2. For April Fools is also Barry's birthday. Oh, so when they started this series, they started out with just that cowboy photo, with him as Ann Whistle, because he plays he's technically Ann Whistle. Yeah, he surprised him with it, with one of the photos, and then it ended up becoming like the thing, and there's one in every episode, or every book episode. I don't know if it's every episode or every one of 2 episodes, but yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's this book is really, really cool, but this series is like this book really made me like appreciate the series so much more. Like, I already loved this series, but this book like made me even more love it. And I held on to this book for like so long. Like, I pre-ordered this book, so I got it when the show came out, which was not forever ago, but when did this book come out? 2018. This book came out in 2018, and I hadn't read it yet, because it's kind of intimidating. I mean, it's a big book, right? It's kind of intimidating, and it's like a coffee table book, so like I'm not gonna hold this and read it like this. But so what I did was, like I said, I got the audiobook and then I just like listened to it while I read, like while I looked at the pictures basically. And that like, because there's not that much text on, the pages because it is a coffee table book. But I'm really glad that I read it like before I watched the show because it added so much to it. And I regret not reading it the first time I watched the series. But so good. So good. I don't think it was out, but oh my God, we've been talking for 2 hours. Sorry. I'm so sorry. There's so much. But yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we decided to watch it together too. And I'm glad that I read this as well. Like I would have had stuff regardless of reading this, but I am really, really glad that I read this as well because it added so many little tidbits and there's still so much in here. Like there's just too much to like do in one live chat. But it's a really good book and it's a really good TV adaptation and it's definitely like one of my favorite adaptations, but I'm biased anyway, so but yeah. So good. So good. Chef's kiss. And I'm glad you liked it, Kay Kelly. I'm glad you liked it. The books and the show. Not just because I'm biased, because it is my babies. They are my favorite series, but yeah, they took such good care of it. Such good care. And like I said, like I was extremely anxious when they announced they were doing an adaptation. I've said this before many times, but like when they said they were doing an adaptation, I rolled my eyes. I'm like, God, just don't. I'm like, please don't touch it. Just leave it go. Just stop. Because I was so scorned by that terrible movie. I was so burned by that I'm just like, ugh. But I'm like they took such care with it. It was just, it's hard. Yeah. I was so nervous because it's like my favorite books of all time. Like Series of Enforcements are the number one book series to me because it like all the nostalgia and like they're near and dear to my heart. But I think that this adaptation was so good. Every single person like I said, this just made me appreciate it so much more, and it made me appreciate the care that was taken with it. Like they took such good care of my favorite show. It's just so good, so beautiful. They created something so special, and that's why people got tattoos. But anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know why my screen keeps like flashing color. It's like weird, but maybe it's just me. Maybe my eyes are going bad. But anyway, I think that's all that I had. I don't think I had anything else to talk about. Looking through my notes. I think that's it. Oh yeah, what do we want to read next? Were we gonna read the next book in the? I actually have it right there. Look at that. Were we gonna read the next book in that series? My ear itches. I forget what even the name of that series is. Oh my God, I'm getting old. Were we gonna read this? Why is it sticky? What the heck? I don't even remember. I think I need to listen to the first book over again because I don't remember. Unless we do a recap. Is there a recap? I don't remember. It's been so long. How do we move on from this? Yeah, I'll just get the audiobook and listen to the book one in like a day. It's not like it's thick. pretty. Yeah, they're pretty. So do we want to read this? I don't know what we want to read after this. Like, I have no clue after this, but so we got time. Come up with ideas after this. But yeah, you can read this next if you want. I don't know when you want to do the live show. That's all up to you guys out. I'm open. I'm available. I think. I don't know when I start school. Hi, handsome. Aw, I love you too. He's giving me I love you eyes. He's doing like the slow binks. Hold on. I'm going to go grab. I printed out my school schedule. I don't think I have any conflicts, but let me double check. Excuse me, Darbo. Move. Move your butt. Move your butt. I have a geography of US and Canada next semester. I literally just need credits. It's my last semester. What day of the week is that? Thursdays are the only day I can't do, so that doesn't really affect us. Thursdays, I have a night class. Unless I drop it, which could very much happen. Oh yeah, that's right. We still Gleanings just came out, didn't it? I forgot all about that. Oh my goodness. Hello. Hi, buddy. My sun and stars, moon of my life. How are you, my drogo? Huh? How's my boy? How's my best bud? Are you my best bud? Are you my best boy? Are you my best boy? We're gonna shut that because neighbors are loud. Sorry. I got all caught up in my boy. He's my best buddy. I love this cat. I love all my cats, but like look at this guy. Like, oh, he's so sweet. He's so sweet. Like hugging me. He's so cute. Oh my god. So perfect. I love you. Sorry. I need help from Josephine's life. That actress actually is obsessed with grammar, by the way. And she read all the books to her kids or her grandkids. Her kids. Sorry. Another person from the show that was obsessed with the books and like took care with the characters. Anyway, sorry. So February, early February works for me. I love you. Sun and stars, the moon of my life. My drogo. Yeah. Are you my cow? My king? Ouch. Claws. Oh, sun and stars. I love you so much. Sorry. I'm so obsessed with him. He's my everything. He is my buddy. I love you so fucking much. I love you so much. Josh gets so annoyed. Well, now he's used to it, but he used to get so annoyed because like I would do that. I would like have like I have like 30 names for this cat. Like I'd be like Drogo, and then I'd be like my sun and stars. Yes. Hi, I love you too. The moon of my life. It's so annoying. He's like, okay, we get it. You love the cat. I'm like, oh, I'm like, he's my world. He's my world. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, so 11 hours. I think it is a short story collection, isn't it? But it's not short. I don't know. I don't own it yet. I need to buy it. I forgot to pick it up, though. I do need to get it. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. 10 weeks. Maybe we'll see where it's at. We'll see access-wise how available it is. After, yeah. We'll start with Last Fallen Moon, and then we'll go from there. If it's still not available, we'll find something else to read. Ouch, Claus. Yes, I hear you. You are beautiful. He also he's like wheezy, but that's just like how he is. It's so weird. I think his purr is broken. Is your purr broken? I love you. I love this cat. God, he's my best friend. Sorry. I'm really like into my cat now. He's very distracting. Like an eye boogie. Claws. Anyway, when early February. What day? I don't have any plans. I'm free any of those days. Don't chew on my cord. I was just saying how much I love you. Don't chew on my cords. You sweet son of a bitch. You're so fucking cute and I love you so much, but you can't be chewing on cords. That's how you get electrocuted and you die. Blech. Nobody wants that. Look at him putting his paw up. He's like, okay, stop, Mom. Any timing works. Ouch. Tuesday the 7th? Do you want to do, the normal? Ouch. Stop chewing on my cord. I actually don't need to have this plugged in anymore. Your claws, buddy. Putting it in my phone before I forget. Do we want to do the same time? Like the same time? Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay, so we are doing it. Okay. I will probably need to read the other book as well, which is fine. I wonder if it's available in the Libby app. Oh, yeah, I am reading that book. Forgot. You ever just forget you're reading a book? It's the ADHD. Ow. God, dude. You're so cute, but why am I doing this right now? I don't know. No, it doesn't have it on Libby. Oh, that's fine. I have a bunch of Audible credits to use as well. Shadow of the Fox. There's a good book. I have to finish that series. I only read the first book in that series. That series is good so far. Well, the first book was good. I didn't get any farther than the first book. Shocker. 31 books. I always love how many you're reading because it makes me feel so much better because I'm currently reading 11 books. 11. According to Goodreads, I'm currently reading 11. Although one of those I only downloaded onto the Kindle, but sometimes it thinks when you download, if you open it up to the first page, it assumes that you're reading it. So one of them I'm not actually reading. But I have books that one of my goals this year is to make some progress on some of these books that I've been reading. The one book that I've been reading since 2018. So it's a short story collection because short story collections and nonfiction are terrible for me to get through without someone holding my hand. Same with series. Series are very hard for me to get through without Shannon holding my hand or Kay Kelly holding my hand. 2017. See? Yeah. This is 2018, and only because I had to read a short story from that short story collection, I just happened, I had already started that book, but that short story was also in one of my classes, just happened to be in one of my classes, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then I'm like, woohoo, I read another one in there, even though I was forced to read it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have read it. I wouldn't have made any progress. I don't even know when I started reading this book. I don't even know. It says 2018, but I think it might be before that. I don't know. But anyway, I'm like really bad. Yeah, short story collections, nonfiction, and series are like the most terrible books for me to finish. Like, series, because I don't want to, with the exception of a series on Kindle. If I read it on Kindle, like if I read smut, let me specify, smut series, I plow through. Like, no pun intended. Smutty books, like the series, binge, easy peasy. I don't know if it's because I'm on Kindle and I'm like, and it's like, it works with the ADHD. I don't know, because I don't think it would work if it wasn't smutty. But that, like, and it's like, but series I can't finish unless y'all are holding my hand half the time. I do finish sometimes, but it's very rare for me to do it by myself. And then, like I said, nonfiction, I try to take my time reading anyway, because nonfiction, usually it's something that I want to actually get something from. Unless it's a memoir. Memoirs I can binge really easily. But I also like to listen to memoirs, because usually they're narrated by the person who wrote it. But they're easier. But nonfiction, usually I want something from it, so I take my time. And then short story collections, I finish one story, and in my head, the way my ADHD works is I'm like, oh, I finished it, it's done. Even though it's not done, my brain says, oh, you finished it, even though all you did was finish one. I finished Game of Thrones all by myself. I did do that. Well, I caught up, because he's never going to finish the next books. Because he has ADHD, man. I watched some interviews with him. I don't want to diagnose him, but like, he writes a lot like I do. I think he needs a sticker reward system like I have. But he's never going to finish his books, and that's okay. I understand. As a writer, I understand. As a reader, I'm really annoyed and I want the next book. But like, as a writer, I understand completely why he takes so long. Oh, I have that. That's on my TBR for this year. Like, it's one of the books I want to read this year. But I listened to all of the audiobooks for Game of Thrones. And I did it after I watched the show because of Shannon. Because Shannon, like, told me to watch the show first, I think. I think it was you. Because there's too many characters. And once I had pictures of a lot of the characters, it helped so much with reading the series. So much. I would have never survived without it. So I listened to all of them. I really liked listening to them, but that helped so much with sorting out the characters, because I would have never survived. But I did watch House of Dragon. I don't know if I told you guys that I watched House of Dragon, but House of Dragon was so good. So good. And Matt Smith's character. Oh. Let me tell you something. As Doctor Who, I didn't have a crush on him, but yep, I like him in House of Dragon. I didn't think that I would, but yep. Anyway, yeah, it's called a Fire and something. What? Fire and Blood, Fire and Blood, or whatever it's called. We have the physical book. Well, we have all the books, but we have that book. I got Josh for Christmas, which is also a gift for me too. But I got him the beautiful, like, illustrated book that's more like a reference book of that, which is like, they made one for the show as well, for the other show. I mean, the Game of Thrones show. That centers more on that kind of stuff, and this one centers more on like the Targaryens and that. But they're beautiful books. They're expensive. Those books are like, they're like the same size as like that kind of book. They're very heavy, but they're beautiful. The illustrations, they're definitely worth scraping together the money. They're gorgeous books, and I'm really glad that I bought it, because I get to look at him. He's reading it, like actually reading it, and I just like get to peek over his shoulder. But The show's good, except for the last season. I definitely recommend the show. I like Game of Thrones, especially since I've been to a lot of the places that they film in. Because I've been to Dubrovnik and I've been to Croatia, and so a lot King's Landing. I kayaked in King's Landing, so I've been to a lot of like the places that like have been filmed for that show. So I don't know. I walked the shame path, which if you watch the show, you'll know. But yeah, the show's good. The last season, not so much. Not so much. But other than if you don't count the last season, it's a good show. I really liked House of Dragon though. Like really liked House of Dragon a lot. Like I really liked it. I was worried, but House of Dragon is very good. Definitely recommend. But I haven't read the book yet, so I don't know. But yeah. I think my favorite character from Game of Thrones. My favorite character from Game of Thrones is Oberyn, Prince Oberyn, which is why I named one of my cats after him. Yeah, but it's Pedro Pascal, so like, I just like the Dornish. If I was gonna pick anywhere to live, I said that to Josh. I asked Josh, I'm like, where would you, if you could pick anywhere in the Game of Thrones universe to be from, where would you want to be from? And I'm like, because I sure as fuck wouldn't want to be from the north because ew. I'm in the north now. I don't want to be in the north, but I said I'm like I would want to be Dornish. Look at it. They're like hedonistic, like they kind of just bang everybody. Not that I want to do that, but I mean, if Pedro Pascal's there, but they're like, I don't know. I'd want to be Dornish. I like the Dorns, but anyway, yeah, Pedro Pascal. He plays Prince Oberyn. Yep, who meets his untimely end. Spoiler alert. Well, you've read the books, so. I make that joke often with Oberyn. I make jokes about often with him, which are very dark humor and terrible because I would never, but yeah. I make a lot of jokes about that. I'm like, I could just smash your face in, Obi, when you're bad, but I would never. Oh my God, I forgot. Sorry, I buried it. I forgot to show you this. Because this is referenced in the show, in the series Unfortunate Events show. The pony party was referenced in one of the episodes. Can't remember which one, but the pony party was referenced in, did I write it down? The Austere Academy. Poe is holding this book. He's holding it. Yeah, Poe had it. The pony party. And this is like, so this is actually look at that. My bookmark from forever ago. It's like ancient. This bookmark's from 1991. God. So what this actually is this is another book that you can read if you like want extra stuff about the show. I'm not the show, the series. So this is actually the unauthorized autobiography of Lemony Snicket, but it came like this, like when you bought it, but it also has the fake cover to flip. So you can make it the pony party. So as a kid, I made it the pony party. Because so you can hide it. So you can hide the book so people think that you're reading the pony party instead. By Lonely M. Sneketnik, whoever that is. By Beth Quilcrest is the illustrator. And it says, giddy up, saddle up for hay loads of happiness when the luckiest kids in the world go to a party with ponies. There's a rollicking good time to be had by Larry and Little Lil. Lots of luck is their last name. When the weather is nice and there's enough cake for everyone. What a fun these gleeful siblings will be making new friends, trying new things, and riding real ponies. There's even a big prize to win for having the prettiest pony. And guess who wins it? Not Old Man Grumpus. That's for sure. Kids of all ages will giggle out loud at this delightful book librarians everywhere are calling due back in 2 weeks or else you'll have to pay a fine. So come along, partner. Everybody's invited. All ages, from the young to the young at heart. There's even like a back part here. It says like, reading is fun, cool, and educational. And this book is one of the most exciting ever. This delightfully appropriate book. Doesn't that sound perfect? Oh my God. See? Anyway. I, as a kid, ate this shit up. I thought this was the funniest thing. So when it was referenced in the show, I was screaming. Because I thought this was like the coolest cover of all time. One of the coolest things. Like, look at the siblings. Look at, that's supposed to be like the Klaus. Like, what? Oh, so funny. Anyway, sorry. I had it buried there. I forgot about it. Sorry. Anyway. Should probably let y'all go. I almost forgot to show that to you. Oh my goodness. So funny. Appropriate book. I haven't, this is the one book I have read it. I read it when I was a kid. But I haven't read it since. And I can literally tell you, I have no idea what is in this book. I haven't read it since. I really should have reread it before this live chat, because I heard this book also has stuff that's referenced in the show, but I didn't even, because they took everything in when doing reference to the show. But this is like, it's like an epistolary novel too. So, because it's like it's got like articles, and it's got like pictures, letters, like it's yeah, it's got some cool stuff in it. I do need to reread it as an adult, but it's like the one book that I haven't reread since I was a kid. But yeah, it's an epistolary novel too. But they took this into account when making the show as well. Esme Squalor Fan Club. Oh, and the Littlest Elf is referenced in here, which they did in the show. They referenced like the Littlest Elf, which they also referenced in the books. But anyway, yeah. Pony Party. But that's the unauthorized biography, which I have like or autobiography, which I have like multiple copies of. But this is the only copy I have that's hardback and has the flippable cover. I have multiple copies of like the paperback, but not of the hardcover. Yes, The Littlest Elf. Poe had that one. Yes. Anyway, sorry. I had to tell you about that. I completely forgot. Anyway, my neighbor still hasn't stopped blaring music, which is fun for me. I don't want to murder him at all. I'm gonna go take a bubble bath and read a little bit because I didn't write anything today for my novel, so I have to do something today. So I think I'm gonna read. I don't know what to read though. I have a bunch of pirate books, but I want to start this book. This is Goddesses and Older Women, because I have an older character in my book that I need some badassery. Well, that's one of my goals this year, is to read as many badass women that I can across the genres, but mostly nonfiction. But anyway, I'm gonna read something piratey, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, see what I mean? Amazing goal, and easy to achieve because women are always badass. But okay, yeah, go have dinner. Have a good evening. Yes, badass women. I want strong, badass women. That's all I want to read this year. Now, it's not all I want to read, but I want some morally gray villains, which I do anyway. See, these goals are achievable. Anyway, yes. Let's read. I will see you guys on the 7th with this bad boy, and we'll chat all the things. Gifted Clans. I gotta reread the first book. I don't remember. But anyway. Neighbor is so loud. Anyway, I will see you guys soon. Yes. Have a good night. Have a good night. I'm gonna stop talking. It's almost 3 hours now. 2:40. I've been talking for. I'm going. Love you guys. We'll see you later. Bye. I'm kissing the air because I filmed videos and I always blow a kiss at the end of my videos for YouTube. I don't know why. I always go like, I love you, peace, I'm out is like what I say. I don't know why. It's my signature. But now I feel like I have to do it in live videos because I just filmed 2 videos. Now I feel like obligated to blow you guys kisses. It's a whole thing. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Have a good night. Good night. Now none of the cats want anything to do with me. They're all sleeping. Naturally. Bye. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your night. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.